You are here at the Just Talk with Rachel, and I'm with my 3 coaches from Achievement Enterprises Coaching and Mentorship Center of Excellence. We have started our conversation on how discovering our strengths has been the greatest breakthrough ever. And today we are going to look at now how knowing ourselves can help us build better, sustainable relationships. Because when we know ourselves, when we know how to regulate, we then need to understand that other people too have got their own strength. So how does that help us to become a collaborative individual, us to become a cohesive team so that we don't step on each other's toes? Well, please, let me take this opportunity to welcome Coach Cheryl, Coach Lengi, and Coach Masha.
Hi, I'm Cheryl Nekati. I am the adolescent coach on Achievement Online Training. And my top 5 strengths are commander, self-believer, strategist, brainstormer, and also storyteller. And I find that in group settings, be it at work, be it at home, that number 1 commander has really helped me get on with my life in those dynamic situations. So I can't wait for our discussion today, because I can't wait to tell you how my qualities have really affected, somewhat in a negative way, but sometimes in a positive way, my group dynamics with my family interactions. What about you, Coach Lengi?
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Coach Cheryl. I'm Coach Lengi. I'm from South Africa, and my 5 strengths are I'm a self-believer, I'm an analyst, I am a coach, I am a deliverer, and lastly, I am a catalyst. And it has been such an amazing journey finding out what blind spots are there in my strengths. How am I supposed to self-manage myself within my family, my cousins, my friends, because how people perceive you sometimes can tell a different story. So I am now literally, with the knowledge that I have, with the results that I have, I now know how to handle it. So I'm no longer looking and thinking, this friend of mine is not talking to me because of 1, 2, 3. Now I understand how to handle it. So it is been that amazing journey for me, and I am hoping that once we get into the discussion, it's starting to get very heated. I'm getting very excited, which I need to stop myself. Catalyst in me is hitting, so I just need to say, Coach Masha, what do you think?
Thank you very much, Coach Lengi, and all the other coaches on this wonderful platform. I am indeed excited about what we're about to embark upon. Hey everybody, my name is Masha Sudas, and I come from the beautiful Caribbean island of Trinidad and Tobago. My 5 strengths include strategist, brainstormer, optimist, self-believer, and philomath. Now, a little bit about me is that my background for the last 25 years has been in the field of education, and I'm excited to see and to infuse this strength assessment and the value it has in it into the scope of education, into the teachers, into the students, so that everybody could make better plans and preparations for the future. Because, education, you don't only teach for now, but you plan ahead. So this is the way I'm excited to infuse this into that area. Coach Rachel?
Thank you so much, Coach Masha. Well, I just love the fact that it makes all of us feel normal. There is nothing that is frustrating when you sometimes start having self-doubt, thinking that, am I extra? Am I too much? Should I tone down? Well, this is what the discoveries I've personally had. My top 5 strengths are strategist, timekeeper, brainstormer, philomath, and peacemaker. Well, now, since we have appreciated this amazing journey, how has this knowledge contributed in your understanding how to manage relationships better? This can either be at home, at work, with counterparts. How do you feel about that, Coach Lengi?
Thanks, Coach Rachel. About managing, what I found very unique, especially when coming to our strength, is not really focus on just the one. of only managing how to manage your friends or how to manage your kids. You can literally use this on your day-to-day basis, managing everyone that you come across, anyone that you engage with. And on my side, the analytical part of me, it has been that I needed to kind of pull back because, as I said before, that being the analytic that I am, I always like to ask how, when, what, so anyone that comes to me, they need to come with their facts. And actually, that's not the way to do it. Not everything is supported by facts, by data, by numbers. Sometimes I need to, that's what I needed to kind of adjust myself, like to learn. If someone says it is yellow, yes, it is yellow. It is not a mixture of red and yellow or orange or whatever. If it is yellow, it is yellow. And so this is how I've pulled myself back, because I had to pull myself back and say, if this is what it is what it is. I do not always have to look for that data to actually back up whatever information that I've been told. Because what usually then happens is I then go into this paralysis, analysis, and trying to find things. And at the end of the day, if I sit in that hat, I end up not getting anything done because I'm looking for that one number or for that one answer, which sometimes may not be there. I'm not sure you, Coach Marsha, how are you finding it?
Well, two of my top strengths of the 5 are brainstormer and strategist. And I realized that in knowing your strength, you also have to know how to pull back and allow the others around you to capitalize on their own strengths. So as a brainstormer, I have the ability to think 10 steps ahead, pull things together, have second plans, and it works very quickly in my brain. Couple that with strategists, and I'm already planning what's going to be, how it's going to be, and everything. And sometimes the train of thought is running so fast that sometimes the others, I'm probably taking a speed that they can't catch up with, and that has taught me how to wait for others, tone down, because everybody has their strength and everybody needs to have that ability to go with the project that you have at hand. So it has taught me to manage it to the point where I include others, and others, whether it's in your family or whatever the group dynamic is, others get to shine and utilize their strengths as well. Coach Cheryl?
I mean, I completely agree with you, Coach Marsha. I find that having both brainstormer and commander, I may rub people the wrong way. As much as there is no correct or perfect personality trait, sometimes it is very important that we adjust ourselves, because our certain personality types maybe is not the same as the other person's, and you would find that conflict can arise in a certain situation. Yes, those are my top 5, but how exactly can I adapt my traits to work in a certain situation, to either get forward with whatever the task is at hand or to communicate properly with a person? So I love the fact that these the high 5 personality strengths test really helped me to hone in on how exactly my top 5 strengths can, in a way, rub people the wrong way, and what I need to do to tweak it.
Yeah.
That's a very good point, Cheryl, because one thing that we need to appreciate is, as much as we've got our unique qualities, as much as we've got our top strengths, people are different. And we need to have empathy. We need to always put ourselves in other people's shoes to say, if I am putting up the volume of this particular strength, how is it coming across to the other people? And talking about teams and dynamics, I would like to share something with you. I don't know whether I've told you yet. After discovering these top 5 strengths, I actually asked my family, my husband, my daughter, and my son, to do the assessment. That has been the greatest discovery I've ever had. When I saw the results, my husband's top 5 strengths, my daughter's top 5 strengths, and my son's top 5 strengths, a lot of things started making sense. It actually helped me to reflect, to say, oh, okay, so this is why Cheryl behaves this way. Oh, okay, this is how Daryl is. This is how my husband, because one thing that you need to appreciate is that we need to start at a household. If we want to become successful teams, if we want to become a successful community, if we want to become the best, we need to start at home. So I don't know if that's one thing that you are considering, other coaches, as to how you are going to merge these strengths at home, starting with your family. Because once you understand your family, you will then know what to adapt. When you want something to get done, you basically understand who is a catalyst, who is this, who is that. And then, because at the end of the day, we want to maximize our potential. We want to create synergistic relationships. We want to minimize conflict. We want to minimize frustrations. How do you think that is going to work in a family setting, Coach Masha?
Well, in my family dynamics, my kids are in their teenage years. So they are at the stage of school age, and they're at the stage where they're deciding which career path to go into. Yes.
Yeah.
So one of my daughters, she has only recently started in our school system in Trinidad. You start to do that around the age of what we call Form 4. I don't know what grade it is there, but
Yeah.
you have to select the subjects and so on that will lead you into the career path. Now that sometimes it's a really uncharted territory if you don't know who you are. So it's important at that age to start to know who you are so that you could tailor your path in the direction that you're strong in. Build the confidence, and of course your blind spots, we'll work on that as we go along. And I think that is how I will utilize it.
Thank you very much, Coach Masha. And Coach Tlengi, how do you think you are going to infuse this in your family and your relatives?
The way that I've looked at it, it's firstly, it starts with me. It starts with me understanding, knowing, managing self-awareness. And each and every individual within my household, which includes my children, my husband, my cousins, my friends, whoever that I keep coming in contact with, it will make our relationships, because in all of this with the strengths training, it's really about building relationships. It's really about leveraging each other's strengths as well as your less strength. So this is how I'm going to infuse it. So I was actually having a discussion, lucky enough, my children are quite young. One is 12 and one is 7. So yesterday I was saying to them, like, I need you all to take the strength test. And says, yes, mom, I want to, you know, but they got excited because of what I was saying and what I was sharing to them. Because I was literally sitting at my desk and I was highlighting and going through this and like, what is it? I'm like, mommy's knowing herself here. And so they, no, exactly. I was like, I need a moment, you know, and I need a moment because I was highlighting at different color highlighters. I've got all of them here. And they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, no, mommy is trying to understand herself. And surprisingly enough, the kids they were very intrigued. It's like, okay, mom, why are you knowing? What are you learning? And I started teaching them this. And surprisingly enough, so age-wise, I wouldn't say it restricts any age, because even my 7-year-old wants to do the test.
Wow.
We are going to find a way on how we're going to do it. So that is how I am infusing it in my family. Even with my husband who's far away, I was like, you are going to do this test. I want the results, you know? So that's how I am. That's how, because it's so exciting and it's so impactful in my life. I don't know if you, Coach Carol, do you have anything to share?
Yes, I do actually. You know, with regards to family, it goes into the avenue of appreciating diversity. And as you brought out, Coach Tlengi, having to get things done. And it's nice to hone in on what everybody's strength is. So if I know I need something done by, for example, my brother, I know that he is a winner. I would find a way to, what can I do? What can I say to make him want to do something? Or knowing that my mom is firstly a philomath, what can I make her read about to make her want to go in this angle? Or if my dad is one that gets things done, I'm like, okay, so what exactly can I do? So you can take advantage of people's personality traits in order for you to get what you need done. So that's how I hone it in at home. To you, Rach?
Thank you so much. This is so amazing. We are basically, I don't know whether you have realized, ladies, we are building a new language. We are building a language of appreciation, a language of knowing, a language of understanding. Because once we understand who is good in what particular area, there's no need to be fighting. There's no need to be expecting what the person does not possess. It's like it's like preparing a buffet. If somebody's good at a dessert, somebody's good at making a carb meal, somebody's good at making a salad. I mean, like when we cook in this house, it's actually the same analogy. Cheryl makes the best green salad in the world. My husband makes the best steak. I make the best pasta. My son makes the best. We all have got things that we do differently. So what we do is that, like, when we are cooking, everyone will be doing what they're good at. And then at the end, voila, we've got the best meal. So similarly, when we do the same thing with our strengths, everybody should bring their A game. Imagine what would happen in schools. Imagine how easy it's gonna be for the teachers to appreciate their students even more. Instead of trying to drum something that someone does not possess, why can't you get what a person is already good at? So this is what we need to be doing. We need to build strong teams. Instead of looking at weaknesses, we need to make sure that we make people appreciate themselves. It's easy, and nowadays, I don't know whether you ladies have gone through what I'm going through. People are good at pulling others down. They are good at telling you what you are not good at. You'll be there wearing a nice outfit and somebody will say, Masha, you look nice if only you were not fat. If only you didn't have, if Rachel, you're wearing nice glasses, if only you had long hair. I mean, they even try to determine what you think your sense of style is. I don't know how you think knowing yourself, increasing your self-esteem, increasing your self-confidence is going to counteract the negativity that you get to hear. What do you think, Coach Masha?
Well, I do believe that once we know our strengths, it builds our confidence. And once you know who you are, what you stand for, and what you are capable of, because you are quite right in saying often we are our own worst enemy, right? Sometimes even in being unkind to others, there's oftentimes we are unkind to ourselves, right? Because we might beat up ourselves for not being good at something when really and truly that's not our innate strength, right? And once we know our strength, it builds our confidence, and we can actually now have the confidence to go and to work on those things which are more of our blind spots, because those are support systems to us as well. It's not that they're totally cut out of our lives, right? And I just want to touch on the learning, and in education, learning styles differ from person to person, and we take it from our childhood into the rest of our lives, because we have adults who would prefer to listen to something audio, some would prefer to have it printed, like my friend Hilling, she would print everything and have it, in hard copy to read. Some of us would just listen to something and it sticks right here. It's something we can foster early on in childhood and in the school age time, and build upon it so that once we are in adulthood, we already know how to manage, what our strengths are, and how we can best maximize our potential. That's what I think.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Coach Masha. What do you think, Cheryl? How can knowing ourselves, how can knowing yourself build your self-esteem and self-confidence?
Well, understanding your personality type can help diffuse a situation that you're in. As you mentioned, when people name call, etc., you already know yourself. For example, knowing that I am commanding, people would tell me, oh, I like things. Or if I'm a self-believer, it's, oh, she's full of herself. So when you know your own personality and you hone into the positive sides of your personality, because there is no bad personality trait, then you'd be more at ease or more in a better position not to have a knee-jerk reaction to, escalate conflict, but rather knowing yourself and bettering yourself and moving on from that type of a iffy situation.
Yeah, exactly. What are your views, Coach Tlengi?
I think it is very important in one understanding their strength, as what Coach Marsha was saying, as well as Coach Cheryl was saying, is it's one of the most important traits that one should know themselves. And Coach Rachel, you touched on what we call the pull down syndrome. And the reason why that happens, now I sit here as a coach, and a coach who's now gone through and who's now received the results, I look at that as someone who is lacking self-esteem. If I am this individual and I'm wishing that I want to have Coach Rachel's gold chain, if I don't have it and I see her wearing it, and instead of me saying, oh, it looks beautiful, oh, it looks great, I'm not going to say that. And because of the fact that I want it, I cannot have it. So that's where that whole thing now comes in. However, if I had known what my strengths are and how to harness them, then as what Coach Cheryl was saying, then it will diffuse the whole situation. It will diffuse the whole thought process, because all of these pull down syndromes really contribute to that, contribute to the fact that know myself, I don't know what I tick, and that's what the whole situation is. I'm not sure with you, Coach Rachel, what do you think?
I love the fact that when you know your strengths, you are going to be your own champion. You are going to practice self-championing. When we speak of a champion, we're talking about a cheerleader. You are going to cheer yourself. You are going to applaud yourself. You are going to tell yourself that you can do better. You have self-empathy. You have awareness that it's okay to be you. And whenever you are getting negativity around you, you simply know that you are unique, and you are your own self-champion. This has been a very interesting conversation, because we need to see how we can use our strengths to work together as a team. Like in a corporate environment, we've got different personalities, we've got different trades. However, at the end of the day, we've got organizational values, we've got organizational mission, we've got organizational vision, which actually brings us together towards achieving a certain goal. What is important is, what is it that each person is bringing? Because if we start inculcating and promoting a strength-driven culture, we will then foster an environment where we love working with one another, where we love going to work. You don't want to think, when you think of going to work, it's as if you're going to the dentist. I mean, you know, my daughter knows that I don't like going to the dentist, because I don't enjoy going to the dentist. I know it's good. I go because I have to. But opening your mouth, all my dentist friends, please forgive me. I love your job, but I just don't like going to the dentist. I go there because I don't have a choice. But when other people, when they're going to work, they feel like they're going to the dentist. Oh, I'm going to see Marsha. Ah, man, hey, I wish Coach Lengi can be on sick leave. Why? It's because of the team dynamics. We want to understand that being different is not a bad thing. And what can we bring together as a team so that we can become a highly performing team? So this has been a very informative conversation. And what I would like to talk about in our next session is, what is the role of a coach in terms of helping people become the best version of themselves? If a person knows their strengths, if a person understands their blind spots, why then do they still need a coach? Who needs a coach? So that is what I would like to discuss in our next session. However, if you haven't done so, anybody who might be watching this, please remember to subscribe and share and like, so that other people can be enlightened of this amazing transformation that you can get if you know who you are. So in closure, what is it that you like to say in terms of understanding yourself and understanding the teams? What are your thoughts, Coach Lengi?
My closing thoughts are, as you've said, Coach Rachel, know yourself and know how to integrate yourself with the people around you. It is so fun and well to know your strengths. It's so fun and well to know your blind spots, but it's important with the people that are around you to understand that this is where you are, or this is the new you, this is who, so it is important. So it does not stop with you, it continues.
Yeah.
Coach Marsha?
In the end, how I would want to wrap this up would be just to say that in knowing yourself and to infuse it into whichever group you are in, whether it's the group of the family or school or corporate, or even in a diverse setting with the public setting and so on. At the end of the day, you would want your group to work in harmony. You would want a harmonious working or family environment, one where it's symbiotic in nature as well, so that everyone feeds off the other, and my blind spot might be your strength, and therefore we have success as we go along. So that's the way it can work for all of us.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Coach Marsha. In your closure, what is it that you want to say to wrap up this session, Coach Cheryl?
Well, in closure, we need to understand ourselves, utilize our own strengths, find out other people's strengths in order to create synergy, in order to get our goal done. Because at the end of the day, we want to get something done synergetically, right?
Absolutely.
So yes, I think that's what I feel.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much. What you've said is so appropriate, that for us to work in teams, why teams go for team building sessions and they still come back not talking to one another is because they don't understand either themselves, neither do they understand our team members. So even before you can do a team building session, this is what you need. You need to understand your strengths. You need to understand the patterns of behavior. Like what Cheryl has said, there is no strength that is bad. All strengths are different. It's a matter of adapting, understanding, and becoming the best version of ourselves. We've actually had a beautiful discussions, 3 or 4 sessions on strengths. I would like to understand, what do you think is going to be your role as a coach in helping people aim their strengths appropriately and bundle their strengths appropriately, challenge themselves so that they can become the best version of themselves? In the next session, this is what we are going to be discussing. This has been a very interesting discussion on the Just Talk with Rachel, and I am looking forward to having continuous discussions with you next week. See you again, and thanks for tuning in.